It's clean, it's accurate, and they can do voice to text. So they can put in all their notes just by talking. Hey, it's Keith, the guy with the tie, along with technologies. And today, we're going to talk about invoicing. There are three sides to invoicing. One, the customer's perspective. Two, your office perspective. And three, the field service perspective. The guy's actually entering it in the first place. So from the customer's perspective, your guy came in, very professional, very friendly, did the work, we're great, we're happy with them, and then they leave and they give them one of these on their desk. I can kind of read what most of it says, and I will later give that to the accounts payable people, maybe later today, tomorrow, next week, when I see them, when I get around to it. The second perspective is from the office. The office gets the original copy of this, or maybe a further copy of this like this one. They also are trying to read it, and they've kind of gotten used to some of the guys and know that this guy writes better than that guy and can mostly make out what it says. And they're filling it out. Oh, and yeah, these totals didn't add up right. They made a mistake in the math. Oops, the customer's going to call on that when the accounts payable guy gets it and goes to put it in their system. And so when I'm manually entering it into my system, I'm seeing that mistake. And then there's the field staff. Well, it's a pretty easy way to fill it out. I just write all the stuff down. I can write pretty easily. Yeah, I do it quick, but paperwork is not my thing. That's why I'm not working in an office. I don't like the paperwork. I don't want to do the paperwork. I'm doing what I have to do for the paperwork. It's mostly legible, and usually I've got this right. But it should work. Well, that doesn't really sound like a win-win-win, or even a win in many cases for any of those three parties. How about a solution that improves all of those? A win-win-win. So we're going to look in the schedule, and of course you can tap any of these addresses. It opens up Google Maps, which then gives you turn-by-turn navigation to get to the location. And so here's the appointment that I've got that I'm going to do an invoice on. So we're going to go into Appointment Wizard. And we kind of go from a top-down approach. We can see the list of all the equipment. We can review, add, or alter. Once they're installed, the next time you come here or another person comes out, they will see this list that's been created. So we go back to the order, and then you can fill in the checklist for that equipment. Invoice notes. So this would be a note that if your company invoices are set to show these would show up on the invoice. One of the features in Google Keyboard is you can hit this little microphone and you can talk. You might have to talk a little bit slower, but you can talk and it'll turn your talk into text. And the same thing on Office Notes is it works that way, but these are, as it says, Office Notes. Will only be seen in the office. So we will move down to Parts and Labor. You select the piece of equipment that you are servicing. We'll start with the multi-item quick entry. I can do a search by code or description. So if I'm looking for, or I can just scroll through the list depending upon how long your list is. If I'm doing a search and I wanted to search for the description being pill, I can select it right here. It tells me how many I have on hand. In this case, this is a demo device. I don't have actually anything on hand. So we will choose this. I'm going to click here and move it up to 3. If you need to move it to 30 or a larger number, we can open it. So I click the X, I clear out my list, or if they're set up through categories and subcategories, I can drill down. Apparently I have not set that up in here. The pricing is all automatically calculated out by all the pricing rules, so you don't have to worry about the pricing. It's doing it based upon whatever pricing rules are set up for this customer. So now that we're done with this, we hit the back button and we can see here's the 2 items. And now I can see that the back office has the item 2, widget 1, kit 2. Those are all in here. Now I go back to my order. Now I'm ready to complete it. I hit complete. Now this screen would be useful if you were tracking time and materials and charging for time. If you are not charging for time, then you just hit review. And then we go into review. You can see that here's the subtotal. Down here are all of the items. Here's the if there was going to be a bottom discount off the whole invoice, that could be filled in here. Review this. You can see the notes that'll show up on the invoice. You can review the checklist if that was filled out. So you can show this to the customer so they can see the totals, see what everything involved in it is, review the notes, and then hit complete. This brings them to the signature screen where they can sign it at this point, fill that in, and hit accept. Depleted the inventory. It has now generated the invoice. It's now asking to receive payment. If you're collecting money, you can collect cash, check, credit card. If the office is going to pay it later, you put it as an invoice on account, and that will send off the invoice to their accounts payable person. Hit save, press done, and it brings you back to your list of appointments for the day. The office will get notified that's completed, and the customer should receive a copy of the invoice going directly to the accounts payable person, and they should get that in just a few minutes. It's easy, accurate, clean, quick. It's immediately generated, goes to the customer, to the emailed automatically to the inbox of that customer's accounts payable person, which means they get it faster, which then means typically they tend to pay it faster, which also makes the office happy. Not only do they get paid faster, but before that, they immediately know the invoice was created. They've got all the details. They can read it all as well. And it was accurate. The totals were all done right. And they don't double enter it into the accounting system. It just imports. It's clean. It's accurate. And they can do voice to text. So they can put in all their notes just by talking. That's the kind of system that would help make your customers happy, make your office happy, make your staff, your field staff happy. Tracker's solution for you. Check out our website, www.longwelltech.com.